If you're a whiskey or a bourbon fan, I'm about to open a door that you had no idea existed. Whiskey and bourbon can be an incredibly expensive hobby when you're buying it by the bottle. What if you don't like it? You know, if I'm being honest, I probably don't enjoy many more whiskey and bourbons than I do enjoy. And flavors and styles, they can be all over the place. There's some cool restaurants and bars out there that carry extensive collections, but they want a ton of money for a very small sample. Other than that, most bars and restaurants carry a lot of the same stuff. Your Jacks, your Bullets, your Maker's Mark. Enter blind barrels. An innovative and creative way to solve this problem so us whiskey and bourbon connoisseurs can find whiskey and bourbons that we like without breaking the bank. They developed a method that allows us to try new whiskeys and bourbons while also developing a true, realistic palate. Blind Barrel offers a couple of different subscription plans that allow you to sample 4 different whiskeys 4 times a year. So your 4 samples are going to come unlabeled. Each box contains a flavor chart. So you sample each whiskey and bourbon and you use their flavor chart to try to develop your palate and pull out what notes, what tones, what flavors you get from each sample. These 4 unlabeled samples come from craft distilleries across the country that generally aren't big enough to break into the main market. So you're not going to find them at your local liquor store, restaurant, or bar. You're only going to find them at Blind Barrel. I've had a subscription with Blind Barrels for over a year. The first sample they sent me was their Untouchables box from September 2023. I literally never opened any of the existing boxes I have because life got so busy with moving and I didn't want to do it without showing you guys my experience. So let me show you what Blind Barrels is all about. Pretty cool. They give you a sample card too, to give you some of the flavor, notes that you can get. Kind of, when you're trying to test your palate, sometimes it's hard to come up with what you're tasting, what you're smelling, what your senses are saying. You know there's something distinctive there, but you don't know exactly what it is. And this is really cool because you can kind of get it down to one of these general categories and then break it down into something a little more specific. So really great idea. You do your sample, you record your notes, and you scan the QR code and you go online and purchase it or learn more about it, whatever you want to do. Let's grab the first one. We're going to take A. And so what I'm going to do is I'm not going to drink 4 of these. I wouldn't be able to walk out of here, but whiskey glass. And we're just going to pour a taste. Half bottle. It says after your first pass, use the QR code below to link directly to the reveal page website to learn about the details of each spirit. My fear is that it's going to show me the results of 2, 3, and 4, or B, C, and D, before I want to see them. But I'm going to follow the instructions and we'll scan it when we're done. Let's see what the nose is like. You know what? It smells a lot like a Jack single barrel. It smells hot. It's probably close to 100 proof. Maybe more. A little bit of caramel. A little spiciness coming through on the nose. Let's give it a taste. As soon as it hit the tongue, it was fine. It was smooth. And it's kind of like a Jack single barrel, but then in the middle it changed gears completely into something that I don't have any way to describe. It's almost like a grainy, like a wheat kind of flavor. So they say cereal. I would go with some type of herbal or cereal type of middle tone there. And so if you dive into that a little deeper, I'd go cereal into grain, into oat, maybe wheat. There's wheat right on here. And it's just got some of those tones, but I don't know that that's true. I guess we'll find out when we scan the QR code. It's good. It finishes, you think it's gonna finish hot, but it doesn't. It just kind of fades off. I like it. That's unique. That middle that comes after you as soon as it, as soon as that original hit kind of fades away, that middle tone jumps out at you. I'm not sure what that is. I'm really curious to see what that is. Let's see what they got to say.
And once again, we have 4 more truly craft distilleries.
So the video is pretty cool. It has the guys on there talking about their thoughts and you know, what they're getting, and they kind of agreed with me a little bit. They said green apple, cotton candy. I definitely get the cotton candy. There's a sweet aroma to it. They said it has a grain presence, which I mentioned. They said there was a lack of caramel. I thought just the opposite, to be honest, but my palate is definitely still developing, so I would definitely lean on their expertise, but that's just kind of interesting. They said on the taste, they got apple pie, they got bready. Bready's a great descriptive term that I couldn't come up with, but I was definitely thinking it's kind of along the lines of the oats and the wheat. Now, one term they used that I definitely agree with and I couldn't find when I was trying to describe it was salty. There's definitely a salty nature to this Blind Barrels A, and you can see the color is, you can see it's got a nice pretty color to it. Now let's see what sample A is. And there it is. Sample A is Chambers Bay Straight Bourbon. Wow, batch 12, bottle 23, 95 proof. And remember, they said that these are selections that you wouldn't be able to buy outside of their home state. Their home state is Washington. It is a Blue Label straight bourbon whiskey. It says this whiskey isn't aged on land, but at boathouses on a dock, giving each barrel a distinct character shaped by the sea. That's cool. Age statement 4 years. Mash bill mostly corn, and there's that white wheat. Color bright amber, and there. Look at it. Look at the aroma that they have: green apple, cinnamon, butterscotch. I get the butterscotch. I don't get the cinnamon at all. Fresh grain, which I mentioned, and saltwater taffy, which is that salty note to it. Tasting: honey wheat, bread, caramel. Yeah, see, I was right. Brown sugar. And there we go. Would I buy it again? Am I going to go on their website and buy it? No, I'm not. I really appreciate the experience of trying it, but it's not something that was like, oh my gosh, I got to have one of those. I got to have that on the bar. It's not one of those, but it is very good. And I think it could definitely compete with some of your national sellers. All right, let's go with B, sample B. And notice right away, this is A, this is B. Got a little bit of a darker color. Let it breathe for a second. Smells, I smell that caramel a little bit. Just by looking at it, it's a little less sticky, a little less viscous. It's not a wheat, it's like a corn kind of smell, like when you shuck a ear of corn, there's like an herbal corn presence there. Butterscotch. It smells a little more friendly than the last one. I don't think it's gonna be quite as hot, although that last one wasn't hot. It was just I think it was, what was it, 95? I'd say this one's probably lower than that. That's about it. Let's go ahead and see how it tastes. Okay. Everything's dialed back a little bit, but it hits, the flavor hits a little stronger up front, whereas on A, it took a second to kick in. On B, it comes at you right away, and it's, I'm gonna describe it as like a nutty flavor that just kind of comes at you almost right away. I don't really have, let me see if the card can help me out here. So you go roasted, and I would say roasted nuts, and probably like a roasted almond. That clicks. I smell almond. But there's a sweet side tone that's, I don't know if that's brown sugar. There's something sweet there. I'm not sure what it is though. Goes down easy, very easy. I feel like it's a little more milder. I feel like both of them would make great bourbons or whiskeys for cocktails. They have a unique character to them, but I think they would make great cocktails, both of them. Let's see what the guys say. The guys said it was less viscosity. They described it as awesome. This is on the aroma. They said corn, which I mentioned, butterscotch, and caramel corn. So that's an interesting kind of idea there. On the taste, they said lemongrass and citrus. I didn't really get that. I'm not sure. A traditional bourbon, I definitely get that. Roasted nuts, they said, which I definitely got. He said toffee almonds, and you know, so I think we're right there in the same kind of level with that. And then they mentioned licorice and chocolate. I didn't get any chocolate. I can see the licorice as far as the sweetness. You know, a great sample overall. So B is 100 proof. It's a little stronger, which throws me off because I thought it was a little less strong. That's interesting. And that's why this is pretty cool. All right, we have Whiskey Acres Straight Bourbon, bottled in bond. It is Illinois. This whiskey was a recommendation from one of our subscribers, the first rec that has made it into the lineup. 100 proof, aged 5 years, similar malt bill. Okay, on here it says a rich nose, vanilla, herbal tea, lemongrass. They were right on the lemongrass. Touch of cinnamon, a nutty oak, graham crackers. That's interesting. I like that one. It's very approachable, which on the taste, which I agree with. Look at that, sweet caramel corn. That grassy, I don't agree with that at all. Pear drops, I don't even know what that tastes like. Hazelnuts, dark wood, lightly toasted coconut, apple cider donuts. You lost me. Ripe apples, butterscotch. I can relate to butterscotch. Great texture. And a peppery spice that fades. I like this one. Okay, so not bad. I'm you know, I don't have the best palate, but I'm in the ballpark. Here we go with sample C. About the same in the viscosity, maybe a little stickier than B, but about the same as A. Ooh. Sweeter. Caramel jumped out. There's something bright about it. Where's my flavor wheel here? Oh man, what is that? There's a little bit of funk to it. I'm not sure. I like this one. It's got some kind of funk to it. Is that pepper? Vanilla? Some type of fermented something? It smells good. I think it's a rye. It's got that aroma to it. It smells wonderful. Let's give it a taste. Definitely a rye. Smooth. Man. Okay, so it grows. So it starts off barely there at all, and then it grows just a little bit. Not like you know, like a Jack single barrel. Like that comes on strong. This just grows just a little bit, you know, kind of like most ryes, and then it just kind of fades off softly. I would call it a rich taste. Almost like a leathery pepper. I mean, it's like a lot of my favorite tones. When I had a beard, that was the kind of scents that I was going for, like a spiciness. And because it fades so smoothly, I'd say there's some type of sweetness. It's not like a chocolate sweetness. It's, what is that? It's like a cinnamon roll or something. I mean, it's delicious. I like that a lot. I'd buy this one. This is a good pour. I mean, you can drink this neat, you can drink this ice, you can put it in a cocktail. I don't know how expensive it is, but that's good. Okay, let's see what the guys say. They say it is a rye, 100% rye. This is a true Prohibition era rye. Crafted in an old school bootlegger still from an authentic recipe handed down from a female distiller who made what was Al Capone's favorite pour. And I can see why. That's a good pour. 105 proof, 100% rye, calling the color New Penny. Maple donut, maybe, yeah. Werther's Original, that's a great description. Deep mint, no. Thyme, no. Not getting any of that. Turbinado sugar, yes. Bitters, slightly. Buttered bread, I agree with that one 100%. They say the taste is rounded and rich, melted caramel, cinnamon, orange, studded with nutmeg. I get the nutmeg part. I don't get the orange at all. Deep oak. I think that's beautiful. That's one of those descriptions that I was reaching for, but I couldn't grab. I couldn't, you know, I'm just not as experienced with my palate as some people are. That was definitely one where you see it and you're like, that's it. A mild long finish. Like I said, it just tapers. And slightly drying. True. Leather and black pepper rounded out. Leather and black pepper. And that's exactly what I got out of it. Let's go to 4. The D is the lightest. B is the darkest. A and C are equal. For the record, I have not went on the website and bought anything yet. So nothing has blown me away yet. Although, C, I would definitely purchase it if it was in front of my face and I'm in the store or something. I would definitely pick a bottle of that up. Just to be honest with you, to say I have Al Capone's pour. So let's see how D comes out. Ooh, a little viscosity to it. Sticking to the edges a little. Very bright, clean. Let me look at my card here. A little spicy. Not black pepper, but cinnamon. Roasted. A little bit smoky. Like a roasted caramel. A little bit strong on that one. You know, it's kind of burnt the nose a little bit on that one. Let's see how it tastes. Okay. It grows. It finishes a little hot. It starts off very mild. And it's got again, I'm tasting corn. I'm tasting wheat. I'm tasting some kind. What am I tasting? I don't know what I'm tasting. There's a sweetness to it, but I can't put my finger on what kind of sweetness. But I'm also my 4th sample in, so, you know. I like it. It's smooth. I'd buy that one. Mythology Distillery, Steamboat Springs, Colorado. says this brand was launched with the help of a domesticated badger on one of the founders' trips to Alaska where the brand's idea was formed. Whiskey, best friend cask strength bourbon. It's a little hot, 118 proof. Okay, it's blended. A 15-year Kentucky bourbon. It's 78% corn, so it's a little high on the corn, which is definitely why I taste it. Rich and gold color. It says the aroma is peanut brittle, light herbs, cornbread. I like cornbread. Cornbread is an excellent description. Wildflower honey. I can get that as the sweetness. On the tasting notes, rich caramel, candied almonds, oak, toasted grains, strawberry, strawberry frosting, no, not at all. Cherry, not at all. Pipe tobacco, absolutely. And peanut dust. I'm not sure what peanut dust is, but I get it. It's definitely a little bit nutty. And the finish, a long decadent finish with vanilla bean, creme brulee, and black currant. C's the winner in my opinion. I would consider buying it. In fact, I'm gonna consider buying it. If it's still available. I mean, I'm way behind here. This was what, September 2023? Yeah, I mean, we're almost a year old. If it's available, only because of the fact that it was Al Capone's go-to pour. I think that's a really cool thing, and that's a great story. If you can, you know, you got your buddies around, you're sipping some whiskey, and you can say, this was Al Capone's favorite pour. I think that's an awesome story. Anyway, that's it for round one of Blind Barrels. Great product, great idea. I won't be canceling my subscription. Keep sending those boxes, boys. Guys, make sure you hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. In the comments section, ask any questions or leave any comments you may have about Blind Barrel. On that note, we're out of here. You guys have a good week. I'll see you in the next video.